Hey guys, I have Angela Kim joining me at Real Talk Media Studios. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, I want to talk about you and what got you into real estate, because obviously you're successful.
Thank you so much.
What drove you to this industry?
Well, that's a very good question. I get that asked a lot by my buyers. It kind of stepped into it naturally. I did not study for this at all. I went to UCSD as a biochem major because I'm Korean American, and I thought, I want to make my parents proud and be, a doctor, because that's all I knew. Quickly realized my freshman year that I was not the smartest Korean American there, okay? Like, chem was freaking hard, and I realized I need to, look at some other course options. I did a couple of other things. I did opera. I auditioned for the vocal department, and I got in, and I did opera for a year or two, and during that period of time, I really got interested in sociology, and I thought, well, the next thing to make my parents proud, if I don't become a doctor, I'll become a lawyer, right? I mean, this is the mind of a 19-year-old, right? So I thought, yeah, I'll go pre-law, I'll study sociology. I did some philosophy. I did a law and society minor. I did music. And then love took me across the pond. I got married very young. My ex-husband is from London, and he was also at UCSD, which is how we had met. So I gave up kind of my shorter term goals at that time to live abroad. We moved to Berlin, of all places.
Okay.
And I studied German out there, and I traveled to my heart's content. We did a lot of techno electronic rave parties, which back then it was just on the cusp of it.
Right.
So it felt very experimental and fun, and we were just living life. And I ended up, long story short, going to Cardiff, Wales to get my master's degree, because that's where my ex-husband had his first position at Cardiff University. And so I worked at a gigantic engineering firm after getting my master's degree, doing sustainable transport and urban design. And after I did that, we had purchased and renovated a couple of Victorian and Edwardian homes while we lived in Cardiff, Wales. And then we moved to London, and we did it again. And I was like, I really love how transformative a home is and how symbolic it is to people. And I really got caught up with loving design and architecture. So I went back to school again because I love learning. I went back to school to do interior design and architecture at the Chelsea School of Design. So I started that. And by then I had my third child. So we were having a kid in every single country. And by the time, I had my second kid. And then he got the job at UCSD. So we luckily came back to California, to San Diego. And then one thing led to another. We got divorced, and I, during that period of time, thought, oh my God, I have been a faculty wife and a stay-at-home mom for such a long time. I've had this real estate kind of stuff going in the background. What should I do? My girlfriend said, you know what? You should just get your license and just have it in your back pocket. I was like, you know what? I'm all for having plan B, so let's do it. I was getting my divorce, got my license, studied for it, and then I looked at my ex-husband, I was like, you want to go house shopping? He was like, sure, why not? So we took the kids, piled them in the car, went house shopping, and it paid for my attorney's fees, and I never looked back. So this is kind of how I fell into it, and I absolutely love it. I love the relationships I build with my clients. 90% of my clients are UCSD alumni. Oh, wow. So I'm actually connected on LinkedIn with over 8,700 UCSD alumni that live here in the city. And so I love working with like-minded individuals. I'm located pretty central in San Diego, and I feel that this was my calling. It requires negotiation, it requires you to be a therapist, it requires you to be a best friend, it requires you to be a project manager, because I flipped a lot of homes here in San Diego, and I love what I do. So that's kind of how I fell into it.
Wow. And you offer so much to your clients. You're so diverse, all your education and all your experiences, and you have so much to offer, because like you said, you were talking earlier that you look at your listings as a story, and that's how your clients, they're part of your story, and
it really is.
And you bring so much to their life and to their table, and you can relate to them in so many different ways just by everything that you've experienced. So
yeah, I feel like your life experiences show up in your work.
Right.
They really do. Yeah. And so whatever you've done in the past, it doesn't matter what you've done. It will show up positively in your current, whatever it is that you're doing, whatever you're passionate about. And I think that adds so much more layers of complexity and strength to your career and what it is that you're trying to achieve.
I 100% agree. Well,
At least I
thank
told my
you.
kids that.
And it's true. And thank you so much for sharing. I've learned so much about you in such a short period of time.
Thank you for listening to my elevator pitch.
No, it was wonderful. Thanks for sitting here with me today at Real Talk Media Studios.
Thank you.
You're
It was a real
welcome.
honor.
It was my pleasure.